On today's podcast, Sids brings in one of his professional contracts. We dig deep into it. We also dig into the Champions League bonuses. Sids reveals his penchant for art, and Chris reveals what it's like at university. Hello and welcome to That Peter Crouch podcast with me, Peter Crouch, Chris Stark and the notorious SID. With me as usual, everyone had a good week?
Yeah, good week. You boys had a good weekend.
Yeah. Well, we had an awards evening last night, didn't we? That was good fun. I picked up an award for my for feel like I'm cheating on this podcast a little bit.
Yeah,
for the therapy Crouch.
No way.
Yeah. Me and Ab got a variety club award, which was obviously we're really thankful.
Did you know that we had it before?
Yes, we did know that we had won. Yeah, so it was nice. Yeah, so but you know, we got various awards here for this, haven't we?
Yeah. It just would have been nice to see you when you were up there doing your speech. Would have been nice for you to pass this pod as a priority.
No, that was I when I was up there, I was so nervous. Joan Collins was there, James Corden.
We need to talk about that.
People on stage that were all really good speakers, and I for some reason I got really nervous, and I just forgot everything that I was supposed to say, really. Yes. And I was obviously supposed to pass the pod, and I didn't. I really let myself down.
No, you didn't. I actually thought your speech was really good. At one point, you looked in the direction of Joan Collins and said that you want to take her out for a date.
Yeah.
Did you really?
Yeah.
In your speech?
In your speech.
How did that go down?
Well, it was a silent auction where Joan Collins was. It was lunch, and I actually didn't mean me. I mean, Abby really wanted to do that. She said, "Oh, wouldn't that be amazing to go for lunch with Joan Collins?" Yeah. And I was like, "Well, yeah." So instead of the bidding was going pretty heavy, so I just asked instead.
There's more of a backstory to this as well. So I was going through this because I didn't know Crouchy was going to this night. It happens we were on the same thing, so that was lovely. Both turned up similar time. It's great to see. You know, it's nice having a friend there. And then they do this silent auction, and they do this at a lot of especially awards nights, or you might have it with your work do at Christmas time. You know, it raises money for charities. Some quite cool prizes. One of the prizes thing was afternoon tea with Joan Collins.
That's good.
You'd have loved it. Steve Bidwell would have loved it, wouldn't it?
I mean, it's just getting ridiculous now.
It works on fucking everything.
Steve Bidwell.
We almost need a list now, don't we? Can we write it on the pub wall here? Just have every single one. You know, like at the golf club where it's got the captains of the past.
Just previous winners from 1943.
All right, so the auction's happening and it's running throughout the night. So when there's a new bid, it pops up on the screen. It's like new bidder and name. Now, I've had a couple of beers at this point and it's early on in proceedings, so I've decided to bid on afternoon tea with Joan Collins because I thought it'd be a laugh, right? Crouch, he's obviously seen it, and then upped the bid by £10.
What?
And I've seen his name pop up, and then I look over towards his table, and sure enough, Crouch is just staring at me, waiting for my reaction. So then it
was a shithousery.
A whole £10 as well.
It was absolute bidhousery. So then a little battle kind of happened to try and win Joan Collins, and then basically it went too far, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. Well, I ended up with it.
He said it.
I got it.
I wasn't sure what you were going to say.
Well, I got it, you know, and it was obviously for a good cause, isn't it?
It's a really good cause.
And I kind of played into the cause, and I thought, you know what, we kind of want it anyway. But then Ab was saying, actually, she's mates with, she's done something recently with Christopher Biggins, believe it or not, right? Who's actually really friendly with Joan Collins. And she was like, I've been invited out anyway. So I thought, well, I've got this lunch now. So I'm wondering if maybe I can change this lunch into getting her on this pod.
We'll bring a tea.
She might be a fan.
Does it stipulate where the tea has to be, afternoon tea?
So it's an afternoon tea.
Yeah, but it's meant to be a champagne afternoon tea sort of
Do
thing.
you think she'd like it here?
No, but I think we should go to her world. So I think we should go to the afternoon tea, all three of us. But it's for 2 people, Sids. So what I was saying to Crouchy last night that we could do is Crouchy sat with her. I'll start in there. Then I'll say, I need a piss. I'll go. And then you just come back and we'll see if she notices.
We just don't say anything.
I think she might notice.
I don't know. I think and then you need a piss. You come back.
Just hang out.
Do it. And we do afternoon tea, champagne afternoon tea, but we just chat football. Because it doesn't stipulate what we're going to talk about in this thing.
No. I mean, she's going to be bored stiff. Isn't she? Think of all the amazing stories she's got. We're going to talk to her about, like...
But then it would be funny if people tune into this one day and Dame Joan Collins is just sat here because you've bought her at an auction.
I think
it would be amazing.
I think it's up for the Chumbawamba.
Yeah,
Champagne
actually,
here.
I think it could be funnier, couldn't it?
You know what? She is an amazing. The reason that we were all bidding on it, is because well, imagine the stories that she's got.
Yeah, she's
And
phenomenal.
I can't imagine. I don't know if she's done very many podcasts. I haven't seen her.
I'm looking forward to see where this one.
We'll see. Where it goes.
I've not heard her talk about football ever.
No,
it'd be really interesting to.
It could be a world exclusive.
Exactly.
Who do you support, Dame?
Yeah, just get her views
Dame
on
Joan Collins.
Klopp's season. We could do anything, couldn't we?
You don't know. Well, Elton John surprised us, didn't he?
Yeah, that's
with his knowledge.
Yeah. Okay, then. There's so much to go at this episode. What at the core is this episode? I know you want, because I can see you've got a picture of me in front of you there, so I know, no doubt I'm receiving some shit at some point. But what's the actual?
This is a great.
What's the actual episode about?
But the episode today is, we dug into one of my contracts, and it was one of the most interesting episodes. Like for me, obviously, I've seen my contract, right? I've been through it, and this, but there's lots of people out there maybe might not understand kind of a professional footballer's contract, the bonus schemes. So Sids has kindly brought in some bonuses and a contract for us to go through.
Yeah, it's. I've never really read through them actually. It'd be interesting to actually because it's not really it's down to your agent and the people looking after you. They sort of go for it,
all the way through
pick things out, and you just end up signing it, and
Well, it's how long is it? Are there any strange clauses, and how much is it?
That's it.
It's like you only need the kind of headlines, don't you?
Yeah.
And then when you do the picture of you signing the contract, that's not normally the actual contract, is it?
Sometimes.
I think
it is it?
Yeah.
I just assumed it was just a...
Yeah, no, I think it is a contract, and they just sort of get you just to turn one page over, and
Yeah, it's basically you've already signed it,
Yeah.
so you just
yeah,
holding the pen there with Calder on behind you.
All right,
But yeah, there's
so
a picture of you, Chris. Before we get into that, we've just been inundated with Chris Stark this week. Seems to be.
Okay, so you're going. Someone is sending in old videos of me.
Yeah, basically,
to the podcast to make you aware.
We were talking about old interviews that me and Sid had done.
Yeah.
And, there was a few, but then loads of people got in touch with basically your Mila Kunis interview.
Yeah.
Which is...
it's a great one.
Yeah,
Have you
really
not
good.
seen that?
I have
thought
seen
you
it,
had
yeah.
seen
It's
that.
amazing.
Yeah.
It's really good, I thought.
Yeah, it was a very odd one. It sort of, if you haven't seen this before, I interviewed Mila Kunis, panicked, didn't really know what to say, and invited her to a Watford game in Nando's. That was basically asked her out.
But that went massive. It
went
Like,
massive,
seriously, like I remember, I think that was kind of like probably the first time I'd seen you.
Yeah.
And then it kind of blew up for you, really, didn't it?
It did. So what else have you got?
Obviously that one there, and then we got this is the profile on the University of Southampton's website, which is the uni you went to. A lovely picture of Chris Stark there, looking quite young.
Hold on a minute. This looks like a recent one with a bit of AI.
Do you think? Yeah, he looks like
that's not an old one, is it? Picture.
What do you mean? That is an old picture.
Do you know what you look like? Though?
There's been a bit of work done in this picture. No, seriously.
He had some work done. Do you know what he reminds me of there? He looks like one of the. He looks like one of the vampires in Twilight.
Great shout.
Doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, you look like one of the. I think they're called the Cullens in Twilight.
I never watched it.
Yeah.
Barbecue Cullen.
The barbecue Cullen.
So what? Just to clear this up, I went obviously to the Uni of Southampton.
Yeah.
And
Are they housering you? Are you not agreed to this?
Well, I don't know what's going on here. I'm on their website.
You're on their website. It says, "Hi, I'm Chris Stark, and I studied BSc. Is it called a BSc? What are they called?
I don't know.
Yeah, a BSc politics within social sciences, politics and international relations at the University of Southampton." And there's an amazing quote from Chris.
Did you know that, Sid?
I did know that.
I did politics.
You did politics, yeah.
Yeah.
We've done the previous
We
pods.
could set up a political
That
party
sounds really
for us.
boring.
Yeah, we could,
doesn't it?
yeah.
When you said politics, it sounds good. It sounds okay. But when you say politics within social sciences, politics and international relations, that sounds really...
I'm sorry, we couldn't all kick a ball for a like,
No, I'm just saying that just sounds boring, the way that they've said it there. Rather just going,
Was
it's
it
politics.
It was boring at times.
Was it?
But they're not going to use that as a quote, are they?
Chris Stark
Hit me
said
with this quote.
It was boring at times. But let me hit you with this quote.
I couldn't kick a ball, but it was boring.
There's a
at
better
times.
quote, actually. I couldn't kick... All of us could kick a ball. Yeah, it was boring at times. But anyway, this is his quote. "Opportunities come from things you don't...
Oh, God. Oh, this is meant to be a football pod. Let's just crack on with the football.
All right, okay. All right. Here's the quote, Chris. "Opportunities come from things you don't expect at university."
He's gone.
Oh, sorry. Oh, God. Oh my God, you're looking at me. I can't say it.
Oh, fucking hell.
It's, I don't know why it's so hard to read. Opportunities come from...
It's all right. Take your time, mate.
He's probably gone.
You might have to do it, son. You might have to do
Okay,
it.
so this is from Chris Stark. Opportunities come from things you don't expect at university, and you can pursue most interest even if you are starting off at the most basic level.
What a quote.
I mean, if that doesn't make you do BSc politics within social sciences, I don't know what.
It's a great, honestly, I had a great time at university.
Yeah.
You know, I got the politics degree. I now do a podcast.
Is that where you felt you started though, at the most basic level?
I do think that whilst we're here, I think at university you can do anything at the most, you know, even if you're starting at the most basic level. Do you know
I
what
like that.
the genius of that quote is? It means nothing.
Yeah,
Doesn't it?
yeah.
It's like, it sounds really profound,
It
but
does.
I think
It does sound profound, especially with that picture.
Do you know what I'd love you to do is try get that quote into some match day.
Yeah, with some analysis.
Yeah.
Do you know what? Opportunities come from those you don't expect at university. And you can pursue most interests, even if you're starting off at the most basic of levels.
Yeah. See if you can slip that into
So,
one of your interviews.
I
Or
reckon you probably
You're
could.
actually right. That whole bottom, piece there, like the picture, what he's saying about what he studied, and that phrase just all go together.
No good.
It's like a marriage there.
It's unbelievable. But, they're obviously promoting that course.
I'm
aren't they?
really pleased to be a
part of it, an ambassador.
I don't think officially of the Uni of Southampton. I had 3 of the best years of my life there. You would have loved uni.
Did you?
You would have loved Sid. You would have loved Freshers Week. I could see you. Being all
my
over
mates,
that.
my friend.
You would have loved.
It'd have been full hammer.
Full
wouldn't it?
hammer.
Wouldn't he? I feel you boys missed out by
Yeah,
not doing
we
Freshers
definitely
Week.
did. Yeah, we definitely did miss out on that.
Yeah.
My mate went to Southampton Uni. We used to go down and visit him quite a lot.
What was his name?
Joe.
No last name, I assume. It's great there.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I was at Southampton, obviously playing, and we used to go out. And it, like,
you was on Freshers' Week
Student
every
I was
week.
there anyway. Yeah,
Yeah, but this is it. You
I did
boys,
the freshers.
you're now retired, but you never actually did Freshers Week.
No,
did
no,
you?
no.
Maybe this September we go and do Freshers Week.
My only issue with that is it's like we're not a bit old for all that. Like,
Yeah,
it's a bit pervy, isn't it?
So just explain to me Freshers Week.
Yeah, Freshers Week. Well, you just think about it. First week at uni. Remember how excited you were at the prospect of joining Team GB for the Football Olympics and being in the village?
Yeah.
I think it's a bit like that, but with less sport.
Oh, really?
Mate, you would love it. Just think about it. You move into a halls, right?
Full hammer everywhere.
Full hammer, like all just new people everywhere. Every night you're out. Monday night, toga night. Tuesday night, it'll be some 2 for Tuesday sort of thing, won't it?
Taco Tuesdays.
Yeah, maybe.
Wings Wednesdays.
AU nights on a Wednesday, so you boys would have stepped up there. The sport nights.
Yeah.
Go out with your team wearing a tie, that kind of thing. Go out into Jesters. We shout them out a lot on this podcast. Thursday night, where would you have been? In Southampton. I can't remember what the Thursday was there.
Oh, wasn't it Jumping Jacks?
Could have been Jumping Jacks. Yeah.
Because I remember Klaus Lundekvarm used to go.
No, he did not.
I swear.
He's about 7 foot tall.
I know, Klaus. I was like, fucking hell. Klaus Lundekvarm's going. He used to like the old uni nights.
Yeah. He enjoyed Freshers Week, did he? Friday night was kinky at the Cube.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I
That's
think
a bit of me.
Saturday night was Fat Papa Daddies.
Fucking hell.
Are you serious? Are you making this up?
Sunday was Walkabout, Snakebite Sunday.
But like,
that's
hold
your
on,
Freshers Week.
you out every night? Like,
Go out every night.
Yeah, every night.
And you haven't got to do anything in the day because if you think about it, your course hasn't started yet. It's all about bonding with other people in your halls.
Like
you're
bonding,
making friends. But there's so much more to Freshers Week than that. I'd love us to do a Freshers tour this year. I think you're right. We do run the risk of it potentially looking kind of weird, and it'd be a tricky one to get the pass for.
yeah.
But if we go down the line of we're doing things that as footballers you never got to experience, it might be possible. I don't know. It is probably on the balance of things probably a bit weird to go do that. But that said, you would have loved Freshers Week, I think.
I do like what you just said there though about experiencing things that footballers
that'd be good.
didn't get to do.
Well, that's what Crouchy did for a bit.
I
didn't
did,
he?
yeah.
You
I
went
did. Like,
skiing
when
and-
the show I did, it was like extreme retirement, and I went skiing. I jumped out of a plane. I ended up. I did freaking skateboarding, BMXing. I did
What, in the half
on the half
round?
pipe, whatever it's called.
No way.
Or whatever it's called.
Did you really?
Yeah, I did that. Yeah, I did. God, there's some great things. But I've already got my qualifications. Obviously, I've got GMVQ in leisure and tourism, which is the equivalent of two A levels.
I think if you ever get, because I can see you being the kind of person that will get an honorary degree at some point. You just got that air about you. Won't pay a penny for it.
George is looking into that for me at the moment.
I disagree with celebrities just getting degrees like that. Yeah, I think it's shithousery personally.
Yeah. Like, because you feel that you've obviously grafted for your.
I worked and it costs some money, and you just float in for.
Yeah. Well,
But I'm saying if we do that, we should do our own version of a Freshers Week or a grab ball or something like that to celebrate.
Yeah.
All things that you missed out on at uni.
Would you say they grab ball?
Grab ball as well.
What's that?
When you graduate.
Oh, grad ball.
Yeah, what do you think of it?
Grab ball.
Grab ball.
Grab
Yeah,
ball.
I
I
thought
thought you said grab ball.
No.
I thought you said grab ball.
That's what I didn't hear you say grad ball.
No, grab ball. Grab
Okay.
ball.
Okay.
All right, boys. Well, that's university covered today, isn't it? Yeah. Apologies to the Uni of Southampton, and feel free to remove me from your website if that's caused you any problems. I would just like it on the record. I'm really proud of going to uni there, and genuinely had 3 of the best years of my life, and it's a very special place to me.
It's a good place. Yeah. Touche.
Just whilst we're there, politics degree I got. Does that surprise you, Sid?
No. We spoke about this before. I could see it in you. Yeah.
Could you debate? I mean, what's involved in a politics degree?
I don't know what the upshot of it is. I guess the discussion should be: could we start a political party and look to
I don't necessarily want to be Prime Minister, but we can have a go.
But I think a lot of people would quite like the idea of you being Prime Minister.
Oh yeah, that would go down well.
What would first law be?
I don't think that law-wise, I'd probably abolish some of the cycling lanes.
Okay,
They're pretty annoying.
and that's as out of politics.
Yeah. Just get back on the fucking pavement. What was wrong with that?
All right, well, let us know if you'd vote for us.
That's policy number 1. I'll come up with number 2 next week.
One law a week. Great.
Slow burner.
Yeah. That would be good, because then when the general election happens, perhaps we just cover it in our own way, or we're not going to be able to stand in an election. However, or can we? I actually don't know how easy. I know I did the degree, but I actually don't know.
Yeah, well, listen, you'd have to run the show. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
we can front it up, but I think you'd have to be, behind the scenes, kind of pulling strings.
What would you be, Chancellor?
Chanter.
Steve Seatwell.
Yeah, Steve Seatwell. Yeah.
This fucking pod's took a weird turn, isn't it? We've gone into politics. Fucking unis. Unbelievable. All right, should we get into contract?
Yeah, come on then.
Come on.
Right, Sid, you've brought in various contracts and bonus schemes here. Interesting, Chris, isn't it?
It's really interesting.
Got anything you'd like to raise so far?
All right, well, let's talk about the first obvious then. The money is big, isn't it? Like, it's kind of bizarre
Yeah, but
for
you
me
say
to be sat here with a contract in front.
I think I took the money off my wife.
No, but
You left it on.
but no, mine, because it's one of them, it's just a rigmarole of like, how do you hide the money? And I just thought my level of money was very good for for playing football, but not to the levels of like what you was on and other people. So it stays in the circle of trust.
Well, absolutely, and I'm going to try and dig into some of the clauses here that sort of stand out as we go through it. But so you're saying you basically just get this contract and you kind of sign it, don't you?
I think the most players, they don't study the contract. I think a lot of it is just legal requirements and how you probably conduct yourself and being around the club, but ultimately it comes down to the last page of the money side of it that you'll be associated with, or you would have your say on, because that's already done before you go to the club, if that makes sense. You'll have a figure in mind and it'd be like, look, if we can get to that and achieve that, then great.
How did you feel with regards to like the length of contracts? Like I looked at obviously at Chelsea now, like 8-year contracts, things like that.
Yeah.
Like I never really bothered with. I always kind of back myself. I'd rather have a shorter contract.
Yeah.
Than I wouldn't sign any more than 4 years. Like usually be like 3 years with an option or something like that.
Yeah.
On the basis that they would probably want you, so you put yourself in a better position, or just to keep the door open if you wanted to.
I just think you can become too comfortable.
Complacent, yeah.
I feel like in all honesty, I was not governed by money at all. Like at football, throughout my obviously I wanted the best deal and what I was worth, but like I never really it never bothered me. Like my contract, I just wanted that sorted so I could carry on playing.
There's two sides of the coin, isn't there? You got one side that you could sign a 4-year or 3 or 4 year contract, and before you know it, 2 years are gone. Then you're sort of in the last 18 months of your deal, so you got to try and keep proving yourself. Or the other side is you could sign an 8-year deal, and literally on that bit of paper, you're guaranteed money. Whatever happens, if you get relegated, if you stay in the same league, if you win cups or trophies, you're guaranteed that money regardless, which is a weird
It's a strange one, yeah. And also with me, because I move so often, right, I was at QPR, I signed a contract, and I was gone at the end of the season. And then I went to Portsmouth, signed for like another 4-year contract, gone at the end of the season. Went to Villa, signed a 4-year contract, gone after 2.5 years. Sent to Southampton, I only did like another year. Then I kind of settled down a bit at Liverpool, but then, I never kind of saw out a contract until I got to Stoke.
Yeah.
I didn't see out one contract.
Okay, it is obviously a lot of money in these contracts. How much would you tell your family about this stuff? Because it is a kind of, it's a lot, right? Would you sit down with your other half and sort of show the breakdown of that?
Would you?
Or did you sort of keep it to yourself?
No, I wouldn't necessarily show the breakdown of it, or but you'd say the figure that, or the whole yearly salary, what it would be. But I had that relationship with my wife. I sort of dealt with all the finances anyway, but it'd be a case of, right, listen, this is what we're doing for the next 4 years, like kind of say. But then that'd be it. It wouldn't be the case of flaunting it around or anything outside the family, like mum, dad, brother, sisters, like even friends, even players. Like I would never ever say in the dressing room.
No one discusses it, do they?
Oh, what, like even if you see it in the papers, oh, so and so signs a new deal for X amount a week, you'd never go, "Did you get that?" Like yeah. So
I remember discussing it. I've got five mates from school since I was 5 years old. I remember discussing kind of like, because I remember when I was signed my first professional contract at Tottenham, and it was like 300 quid a week, and I said, lads, you're not going to believe how much I'm going to get now.
Yeah.
They couldn't believe it. They were like, fucking hell, that's so much money. Then I signed for QPR, and I think I was on 800. And I was like, lads, it's like mad. And then it just kept going like that. And then obviously then I signed for Portsmouth, and I was like, that's me now. And then it just kept going, you know. And I was like, fucking hell, lads, like they just couldn't believe it. Then I went to Villa, obviously, and then obviously went into a level where I didn't say it anymore. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, because I think it's a level of money where there's not a word for it that really describes what I'm thinking. It's not embarrassing to have that money, but it's an
uncomfortable one.
It's
for
an
me,
uncomfortable amount.
It's an uncomfortable one. I hate discussing money. I hate it, even to the point where if you go out for dinner and you've got people like carving up the bill and that, you're like, I'm like, I said to Mrs, I get this. When it all comes, I don't know, discussing money, and I think that this just sums up in all these contracts here. It's just not nice.
Yeah, it's awkward, isn't it?
No, it's awkward, and even this chat's a bit awkward, and that's kind of fascinating.
But you're saying that I've brought it all up and I've not covered anything over because it's just there for you to see black and white. And that's not showing off. That's just a case of, look, I earned that, but that's nowhere near like upper echelons what like top players were earning.
Yeah. What's interesting here is a bonus one you've brought in. Obviously, I remember these, but unreal. Like Premier League champions, right? Just shared between the squad, 2.6 million if you win the Premier League. Very difficult thing to do, obviously. Runners up 1.9. Third, big drop off, 650,000. Fourth, 650,000. But you know, would
that be between the squad?
Between the squad, right? But if you think about how much the club's getting, really, like, because then you're qualified for the Champions League, but then the Champions League's got bonuses are in here as well.
But you see, I don't understand the scale of it because I don't understand how much money genuinely clubs are getting for these things.
Obviously, the football contracts that you've got there, I think you must be the same as well. The only time you ever got involved in any kind of contracts was the bonus contracts.
The bonuses, yeah.
Because that was between you as a team. So you knew what you as a team was worth, how hard it was to go and win, and how much probably the clubs were getting. So, like for instance, this year, I think every Premier League position is worth £3 million. So it's a lot of money to whether you finish 10th, 6th, 17th to 10th. It's a lot of money. So you know you've got a bit of power next year to go, lads. They've come down with the bonus sheet. It's the same as last season. You can go, I'm not sure about that. Is there any chance we can get that increased and just dissect it? Do you find that as well? It was the only time you really got involved in money.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, I mean the captain would go in and we'd all have a meeting and you'd always try and get. But that, I mean, it didn't bother me at all. Really,
no, of course
I always felt like whatever it was like it almost felt a bit cheeky. Do you know what I mean? I felt like we'd kind of. I know we'd probably due it because if the club's getting it, then you should get it because it's the byproduct of you being successful. But I just felt like we were getting paid. It's like when Harry Redknapp talked about Jermaine Defoe asking for a goal bonus, and he just said, "What I'm paying you $50,000 a week to miss them." Yeah.
But it's a good point, isn't it?
It's a fucking good point, isn't it?
Yeah. I think I've got a goal bonus in my contracts.
Yeah, I'm sort of flicking through it all, so it might be a bit sort of scattered and random how we attack some of these. Okay, so one of the first things that stands out is a clause here about you described it as how you conduct yourself around the club. So, for example, this one: when playing or training with when playing or training, wear anything, including jewellery, which is or could be dangerous to him or any other person. It was under this category of the player agrees that he shall not. So when playing or training, wear anything, including jewellery. Yeah. I mean, isn't that just common sense? Like,
Yeah, but you know what? It's just got to go in there, I think. And like, you know, what if you did, I don't know, what if you did, you know, kind of get someone in the eye with your diamond ring, you know, flailing arm, take his eye out.
Yeah, but it just
and
feels
the
like
rest retire.
they should put a clause in here. The player agrees that he should not run with scissors.
It's true. Yeah, but I think you're more likely to have jewellery on, aren't you? Than I remember looking for Nigel Quasi's wedding ring once after training. He'd wore it in the, I think it was his wedding ring. He reckons it'd come off on the pitch, and after training, we all had to go out and have a look.
Really?
Did you find it?
I think someone did find it. Yeah.
No way. A wedding ring.
And that's that.
Wow.
I think it was a wedding ring. It was some piece of jewellery anyway.
All right.
Earring.
Oh wow. That was an
earring.
expensive one then. That.
Yeah.
Okay, so
What you found?
while he is providing or performing the services set out in his contract, he must wear only such clothing as is approved by an official of the club. So basically, they're telling you what to wear out and about, right?
What, out and about outside?
I guess so.
No, I think
Nah.
on club duty.
Yeah, that must be on. That must be on tours.
Yeah.
Surely, unless you get.
Then you'd be in the tracksuits and that.
Yeah.
There's so much detail.
I tell you
in
what, I
this.
think it's one of them. When these get done, you're normally doing your medical, aren't you? Because you never sit around the table and you've got your representatives around here, the club's representative there, and they go, right, clause 1 of 1, and you all go, yep, agreed, yep, tick. It's never that, is it? It's just, it's all done away from you, and then you just come in and they just literally just sort of say, or you go into a separate room and your agent will go, we managed to get these ones done. They wouldn't put these ones in. Are you happy? And you just go, yeah, let's go, let's sign it.
Yeah.
I was the same as you. It was never for the money. I just wanted to play. Always wanted to play, whether I went to Chelsea or Villa. And there was actually something sort of like an agenda around all the contracts as well. Like Chelsea, I had to go to Chelsea because obviously it was a step up from Reading. And then when I left Chelsea, I went to Villa, who were going for Champions League. So it was a case of, like, I want to go and play for these. So the money was never a case of, I want to get as much as I can.
Exactly same with me.
Yeah, leaving
Footballing
Villa.
decisions, weren't they?
Yeah. Leaving Villa to go to Fulham was back home. It was more of a personal one. So again, that was a case of, look, let's just get what we can and, get back home. So yeah, I don't think there's ever a contract I went into to go, no, I want this, I'm not going.
Yeah, that like certainly with all my moves, I think, like, because it's easy, like you say, it's like, because you've been rewarded also for moving, aren't you? Like, quite often you think, it's like almost mercenary at times if you think like, but I just did, mine weren't like that at all. They were all footballing decisions. QPR, obviously you want to get, high as you can go. Yeah. Then we suffered relegation, I had to move on, like to kind of keep my career going. All footballing decisions. Like even when I signed for QPR, I always remember Jerry Francis saying that he wouldn't deal with agents. So me and my dad did it. And then we signed a contract, and then obviously he was just blagging us because we didn't have a clue what we were doing. Yeah. Maybe it'd be easier if it was just me and my dad in there. I remember going in that, and there was people on a lot of money in that dressing room, and I was on by far the least. It was probably the worst deal in football history, really, that me and my dad did. But you know what? It was the best thing I ever did because I played, and then
Did you do the signing photo with your dad?
Yeah, me and my dad. Yeah,
Did you?
Yeah,
Great.
literally, yeah.
All right, Sids. The player should be entitled to terminate this contract by 14 days' notice in writing to the club. So, if you ever want to leave a football club, is that a strange experience having to go in? Do you have to go in with your letter to the chairman?
Have you ever done that? Transfer request?
No.
How do you physically? It's the phrase transfer request. What? Talk me through that process. Do you actually have to go in? Is it
Have
a
you done
letter?
it?
And hand it in.
Have you done
No, I've been in to see the manager and say I want to leave, but I've never written anything down.
Yeah, was that more of a threat rather than I want to go?
No, I've been in and said like I want to go.
Oh wow.
Yeah, a couple of times.
How'd that go down?
Well, with I think with Southampton was Harry. We obviously went down and Liverpool were in for me, right? And I was like, look, Harry,
Oh,
said,
that's-
look,
yeah.
Liverpool have come in for me, and he said, totally understand. And then I went to, and then Rupert Lowe was like, no, we need you. And then, and he said, and Harry wants you. And I said, I've just spoke to Harry. He said he understands. So then I rang Harry back and he said, yeah, obviously I understand that you want to go, but I don't want you to. So he just said to me, he said, yeah, I get it. But then he said to Rupert Lowe, I've got to keep hold of him. I was like, what? And then it was hard because, it was hard to get out of Southampton at the time. With QPR, I mean, they wanted to sell me. It was a club as an administration. But I definitely said it elsewhere. I'm trying to think where else.
It's timings of it as well, isn't it? When you go in and hand a letter down. I think if you go in the day after you've just been relegated.
Yeah, I mean, it's all for that. Wasn't the case at all. I mean, did everything in our power to try to stay up.
Yeah.
But like, at the end of the day, Liverpool doesn't come around often. Do you know what I mean? It's like such a massive opportunity for me.
Yeah.
And I think everyone could understand totally. Like, even when I speak to Southampton fans now, there's no issues at all. It's like, yeah, of course, you do that.
So do you go in with a letter in that
No,
instance,
I
or
didn't.
did you just have a chat?
But I know people that have done.
Yeah.
But I've never gone in with like a letter. And I just went in a chat and just be like, I'd like to leave.
I think I had a clause in the Reading contract that you got there that if a club bid anything over 2 million, that we could they'd allow us to speak to the club. So
is that when you were almost on a Bosman, like you were on a free?
No, that was So that was in there from 4 from the. So I see that contract out. So that's 4 years that contract. So it was only a couple of years in, and Man City bid £2,001,000. Like obviously, it was a bit piss taken.
The old Suarez one, isn't it? Arsenal bid.
So I was like, right, okay, you can go and speak. So we went and spoke to them, and then sort of half negotiated figures as such, and then the Reading said, no, we've got it in the contract that you can speak to them. Now they've got to come with a bid that we'll accept. So they was like, okay, we accept, and they wanted like 5 million. So although it's in the contract that we can speak to a club if a bid is at over 2, we're not going to sell you unless the bid comes in at 5.
No way.
Clever, aren't they?
Yeah,
I was like,
but it's just the way it's worded, isn't it? But you know, like with the Suarez thing, like you talk about there, was what did they bid? I want to say 40 million plus £1 or whatever it was. Because of that, and Liverpool with Firmino, they put in an anti-Arsenal clause. Did you read about this? So when Liverpool signed Firmino, they had a release clause in his contract which stated he could leave for €98 million as long as the club wasn't Arsenal.
wow.
Because of that Suarez thing.
Anti-Arsenal.
But some of these clauses are unbelievable, right? That Suarez in 2014 had, when he moved to Barcelona, had a no biting clause.
No, he did not.
So if he bought anyone else, if he bit anyone else, if he sold.
No way.
There's a 20-minute clause. What's this one? Every time Oxlade-Chamberlain played more than 20 minutes for Arsenal, they would have to pay Southampton an extra 10 grand.
Are these
Our
research? Is this real?
I had a little look before, right? And there's a couple on there that I had
Hold
to
on a minute.
Google.
Every 20 minutes,
I don't know if that's true.
Oxlade-Chamberlain plays, that Arsenal will have to pay Southampton an extra 10 grand.
That is madness. But what about these ones, right? I had to Google this one. This is true. Sam Haman actually did this, right? Spencer Pryor signed for Cardiff. The clause of this contract was inserted by Sam Haman, the Lebanese owner, stating that he had to eat a Lebanese delicacy of sheep testicles.
But let's say this contract comes here, and then your agent comes back to you and says, "Now, Steve, there is a clause in here where you're going to have to pop a sheep bollock."
I would say
You'd go back and probably say, "Well, I won't do 2, but I'll do 1." Right, that's the counter.
I would probably say
Bargaining. To be honest, mate, for this though, I think you need 2 sheep bollocks.
Can I cradle him instead? No, I would say full hammer.
Yeah.
Give it to me.
Full hammer.
Whilst we're talking about sort of perks of joining a club, I'm just going through your contract here. So what funny how life turns out.
Chris is just go through the contract.
Just go through your contract, Sid. So you get a signing fee, right? Obviously, that's the one
Signing on
that's
fee,
publicised.
Yeah.
And then the next one, it says, and the player will receive a loyalty payment of X amount, decent amount. So the idea is then you get like the bonus for signing. That's the one that everyone knows. But if you're under a 3-year contract or a 5-year contract, you're just getting a sum of money under something called a loyalty payment.
At the start of the next season.
At the start of every season.
So it's a 4-year contract, you get 3 lump sums.
Yeah.
Kind of at the end of to prove that, if you start another season, it's like you've not gone anywhere.
I think that is just a typical agent trying to get in as much money as he can, spread out the...
Categorise it as different things.
Duration. So instead of it being, right, your basic weekly wage is going to be this, which is going to be very, very high, they'll go, no, we'll do it this, which is a bit lower, but we'll give you a sign-on fee, and then if he's here for 4 years, he'll get X amount.
The other thing is you fall into the wage structure then, don't you? So say if you bring a player in, say if I bring Erling Haaland in to Watford, right, and say every other player's on X amount, right? You say, well, you have to fit into our wage structure. So, say if the highest earner at Watford is on 10,000 a week, right? You bring Haaland in on 10 grand a week, but you pay him $1 million, $2 million bonus. You know what I mean? Because then he fits into. It's like Sids can't come to me and say Erling's on fucking 200 grand a week, and
Okay, so I see.
He's
so
on
let's say
10,000 a week.
So let's say Peter Crouch comes in. He's really expensive. What they do is they put you in the wage structure that seems reasonable to the rest of the players.
Yeah.
But then you get $1 million every time you do the robot.
Yeah, there
you
you
get
go.
a celebration bonus.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's a way round.
How many times did you do the robot?
It always looks so happy.
A fucking
doing
hell
it
of
as
a lot
well,
more.
mate.
Be a hell of a lot more times if I was getting paid that.
Yeah.
But you
that's
see what I mean? Like,
interesting.
it's a way of getting around kind of the wage structure.
Yeah.
And keeping all players happy.
So this is another fascinating one on the same page, actually. After the player has completed one full England A international starting lineup appearance, he will receive a once-only gross payment of, and then there's an amount of money there, and then you get paid a bit less money for every subsequent starting appearance. It feels funny to me that the club should be giving you a bonus for you starting for an international team.
Yeah. My take on this is your value increases. You know what I mean? So if you get in the England squad, you're doing well, i.e. for the club, and also your value it almost doubles the minute you go to play for England.
It does in your own personal thing, but to kind of have it in that the club should pay you for a kind of benefit in kind.
Yeah, but you're representing that club as well. So if you take, for instance, Lewis Dunk at Brighton, I don't know the last Brighton player to play for England, but he's done so well. He's got into the England squad, and
you're right. It reflects well on
it
Brighton.
reflects well on
Does.
And it gives their profile, on a more of a global stage as well, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
But everything goes up once you get in the England squad. It is, Matt. It's crazy. Like the bonuses, the boot deals. Because you're just on a bigger, it's a bigger level, isn't it?
But like I said, I think that's just a way of your representatives to try and get in as much as they can in any sector that they can as
any
well.
way that the club could remotely benefit is try to be represented with money in this deal.
Yeah.
It's mad. Just back on some of these mental clauses, right? Giuseppe Reina, the German striker, demanded that his club, Arminia Bielefeld, I think it says, build him a house for every year of his contract. But he didn't put any specifications on this, so they built him Lego houses. I read about this.
No way.
I read about this, yeah. There was a dispute that he said in his contract you get a house every year, which is a mad fucking shout. But they just built him Lego houses. There was no stipulation on what size of the house.
Yeah, but you'd be fuming as a player. So if you're actually banking on that, you're thinking, I'm going to get a house.
But
I'm going to get a house in this
every
season.
Every year, though?
Yeah, that's wrong, that.
So
yeah, he's trying to be the Robbie Fowler of
Armenia.
Lego house. But that you'd lose your head after that. After year one, if they showed you a Lego house, you'd be like, you're taking the piss.
That first reveal would have been incredible, wouldn't it?
With a ribbon.
There's your house, you cheeky bastard.
I've not heard of that.
Up to pieces.
Is that what it was about?
Build a Lego house. This one there, Rolf Crystal Guimin, I'm going to call him. When he signed for Frankfurt, he only agreed to sign if his wife was given cooking lessons.
That's some clause, that isn't it?
It's some clause when you're bringing in a third party as part of it. Like, you see, that what that suggests to me is that you could open up the idea that in your contract you can get something nice for your missus, like a gift, or you could say, right, I'll sign for your club if you get all my best mates cars, that kind of thing. Have you ever been tempted to flex for other people's benefits?
I think that like the higher you go, the sort of like standard of player, like Mbappe's got like his consulting rights on the managers and things like that. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, that should be a red line, don't you think, in contracts? Because it's the problem when one player has or gets or is seen or is known to get away with something like that. Every top player will do it. It's a bit like the first 100 million player goes up for a transfer, then that becomes the benchmark. And how do you tell certain players that they're not worth 100 million? They have to go up and suddenly everyone's 100 million.
Well, I think with that, watching that Michael Jordan documentary about the Nike one, right? Like that must have sparked, if you're kind of Jude Bellingham or, I don't know, whoever's the most Mbappe, like surely that would be like, well, Mbappe's, that's something to think about. Like, definitely, if you're Nike or whatever, you'd be like, well, I want a boot.
Yeah.
And I want a stake in it.
And then it just becomes the norm,
Yeah.
do you think?
Yeah, and it's like it's always trailblazers, isn't it?
The higher the profile, if you like the Messis, Ronaldos, and Mbappes, they would have like ridiculous clauses. Sure, they'd have parity. Like, if anyone comes in that you want to put on more than me, then I go straight away 5% more than them. Or,
that was a contract when it was some players I know had contracts at big clubs. If anyone comes in, your wages get matched with the highest earner that comes in.
Oh, right. So your contract was almost on a variable rate. So even if
you're always the highest earner.
You're always the highest earner.
Yeah.
That's a nice one to have, isn't it?
That's a crazy one.
You're just thinking, fucking hell, you just want players to sign.
Of course you do.
Yeah, Gaffer. You gotta get him in.
And Mbappe.
So you get a world-class player in who deserves the money. You always get...
Yeah.
You'd have parity with the highest earner.
Yeah, but at that point, you're the best, let's say the highest paid and potentially the best player or the most commercially lucrative player at the club. At that moment, the club has ambitions to sign someone else. That seems insane to me that you could then constantly match that person.
Yeah.
So
But
you could be a much
player, haven't you?
Yeah, but you've got to be a top player. But what that suggests to me is that a real top of the top player comes in, club's record signing, you're going to be a shitter footballer potentially than them, and on the same, you're on Ronaldo money.
Obviously, thinking behind that is that this is the value that you bring to the club. You are always our main man.
Do you think there should be red lines in contracts that clubs, doesn't matter what the commercial, like when you're talking about having an influence on decisions in appointing managers, things like that, isn't that dangerous for a team sport to have one player that's
massively?
That's OB for me. That's out of bounds. Can't be doing that.
It feels like there should be some things that
Just stick to football.
just can't be put in a footballer's contract.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I do. Anything else there?
Yeah, the player's normal retirement age in your contract here, Sids. It says the player's normal retirement age is 35 years.
Yeah, I did see that. I don't know what to get from that clause, because are they saying that I can't retire at 34?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if this is related to a pension thing or I don't know.
Yeah, I think it is a pension. You can draw your pension. I think it's gone up now, isn't it?
Yeah.
I was one of the last.
Was you? What, 35?
Yeah, are you not?
I think I'm 55.
No,
yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, I think I was one of the last that can draw the pension at 35.
That is like...
That's mad, isn't it? You can draw a pension at 35.
Grandad at 35. It's just...
Yeah, because obviously,
It's so strange seeing this in writing. The player's normal retirement age is 35.
So you're how old are you now?
41.
Yes, you're what, two
2
years younger? Yeah, so I must have been in the last year.
Yeah.
But 35 is nothing to have the word retirement next to an age like
mad,
that.
Isn't it? Mad. But then I had that in my contract, obviously, but I could actually have drawn my pension, but I was still playing. I was 38.
Do you get pensioners' portions at the fish and chip shop?
Yeah. I get on the bus now for 30p.
Do you?
Do you know what? It's a funny one because a lot of people say, and you'll have this question. Oh, is it in your contract that you can't go skiing or you can't go like on a jet ski and that? And I'm like, I always used to say, yeah, I think it is in there somewhere, or like it'd be you can't partake in endangered. But actually looking through it, I can't see it.
I mean, one of the clauses here says if the player wishes to travel outside the United Kingdom during the season, he must first obtain the permission of the head coach. So, and they can reject you from going on holiday.
They can,
so
yeah.
you have to declare what your holiday is.
Well, quite often we had to hand our passports in.
Yeah. I think that one there is in the case of if the player is playing up and they just wants to get out of the club, and their club can play hardball by going, well, you can have a day off, but you can't go. Like, do you know what I mean? You can't go home. I think that's one of them ones there. That's one of them clauses. What was the other? There was one as well. I was going to say. There is the holiday clause in there that says you are allowed 5 consecutive weeks.
Really?
Yeah.
God, no way. Because sometimes you got 3 weeks.
Yeah, I think it was you're entitled to 5 consecutive weeks, and also I think there was a maternity one in there as well. I think
there is one in there. Yeah. But I don't think anyone's ever exercised that. I think you can be there for the birth.
Yeah.
But you're back in the next day. I mean, I remember the kids that were born when I was still playing. I went to the birth and then I trained the next day or played the next day.
It says here as well, you've got to do 2 hours of media a week, and it lists it as like club TV, club radio station, that kind of thing.
They'll just pick and choose.
You're not there with a stop clock going.
It's never that. No. But you know, it's one of those sometimes if a player constantly says, "I'm not doing the press this week," I'm not doing the press. You're like, hold on a minute.
There's an agreement. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I think the common theme on my contracts there, a lot of it was incentive based. So I think there was things like if I played every 19 games that I played, my weekly wage might have gone up another X amount. Do you know what I mean? So the more it makes you want to play more games and put yourself forward.
Did you ever sign a contract since and then go like in for another one within a year?
I did at Reading when I first went there. Yeah. I signed, and then after next season, I went in because I think my first contract at Reading was like maybe £1,100, which is still very good money. But I think after that first season in the Championship, where I performed well, they was like, no, you sign, give you a new one. So
I think this is a nice touch as well. You've signed what is a very lucrative contract here, and then gone and drawn that on the back of it.
It looks like is it a cock?
I actually don't. No, it's not. It's not. Listen, we can all draw cocks. Yeah. And although that does look like a cock.
I took that to be some sort of animal taking a dump.
So you've got like this contract. I mean, it's a multi-million-pound contract. And drawn.
That is actually the contract as well.
Yeah. I know
I think, I don't know what that is. I think that's...
Just a doodle?
It's something outside the circle, isn't it?
Well, let's get it out on social, see what people are saying, try and work out what was going through Sid's mind when he drew this, because it's quite abstract.
Do you know what? There's people out there that can delve into your psychology there.
Because this is the moment you've signed, you know, what is a very lucrative...
Do you know what it is here? Do you know what it is here? It's a hen laying a golden egg.
That's what I think it is. It does look like an animal.
Sid, is your golden egg.
Should we get it framed and put in an art gallery?
Yeah, I think it's profound because it's the nest, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's the hen on the nest.
It's the facts on the back of the signatures as well. It's like you've literally signed it and then gone, I'll draw my golden egg. This is it.
Let's concur on that one. I mean, I think I was doodling and I've needed a bit of paper and just...
But I mean, the psychology of this be so interesting. There'll be people out there that can analyse this for us.
Yeah.
And I'd really like to do that.
Let's do it.
Let's put it out there.
There's be some there'd be some demons, I think, in that picture.
If you are a dude landlist, please get if that is a job, please get in
A
touch.
hen with a golden egg. I like that. That's a good one. That.
All right, Sids, I think we should get this framed. Maybe put it up. And we'll obviously, while we're working out the psychology of it all, we'll work out what to do with it later. Eh?
Okay. Yeah. Listen, I'm all in.
I can't stop looking at it.
Is it definitely that way around and not that way around? Because then suddenly you've got, I mean, that's a rabbit, isn't it, without eyes? Smoking a spliff or something.
Yeah,
I love the way that...
Or is it Sid's coming out of a slide?
It is, yeah.
And a bit of shit where he shit himself on the top.
See, this is what art does, eh? You look at art on the wall and you say, what is it?
That is what's so interesting about art.
Imagine when it's on the wall, we get some art critics staring at it for 2 hours, talking us
See,
through.
what we don't know is that although that's signed on a very lucrative bit of paper, obviously a contract,
I mean, the
that
paper's
there,
worth millions. That's the thing.
Millions.
well, that drawing could be worth millions.
It's beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Yeah.
That could be someone's Monet.
Steve Sketchwell.
There we go.
Brilliant.
There we go. Yeah. There we go. A piece of art by Steve Sketchwell.
You've even signed it on the other side, so it's perfect, isn't it?
Yeah. All right then, lads. Loved that. Really enjoyable going through the contracts again. Brought back some memories. Should we get some messages?
Yes.
We got a message from Kyle. Oh, he's got. There we go. So Snog, marry, avoid. The answer we need to know is Gerard Lampard Scholes.
Oh,
This is a big one for you, Crouchy. This is.
Oh, it is a big one. I mean, because I know all three.
And it's a constant question you get, isn't it, about this generation of footballers.
the avoid,
Who plays, that kind of thing.
the avoid one.
Best
the toughest
midfielder.
one there, isn't it?
Avoid, yeah.
'Cause you don't want to avoid any of them. They're all lovely
good
fellas.
fellas, really good fellas.
But you got to avoid one.
Oh, you got to avoid one, haven't you? And you can't please everyone, can you? I don't know. I think I've probably settled down with Lampard. Yeah, I think Lamps are marriage material.
Great. That's one done. I can see you're enjoying this. Hating every second.
Snog and marry.
Yeah, I mean, listen,
No, snog and avoid.
I think
Oh, sorry, snog and avoid.
Yeah.
one night with Gerard would be magical. I think.
That's definitely.
We've
gonna
had
be-
magical nights in the past. So I'd like to relive one of those nights with Stevie. So unfortunately, I'd have to avoid full skulls. But
I was be exactly the same.
would you? Would you really? Yeah.
No, actually, I'd have to agree probably on
You'd
the
agree
balance
with
of
that?
things. I think
It's got some weird logic
There's a
to it.
classic. There's a classic Gerard Lampard. I'm not sure. This is always the problem with those two, isn't it? I'm not sure which I'd want to marry or snog.
No one's
So I don't
ever
know
had
which
this.
one
to-
You're saying this is the age-old discussion. No one's ever had
No,
this.
but I mean, like, which one do you play? Like,
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
They've got their qualities. They've all got their qualities. That's the thing. They're all very different players.
Your pro Throppel could have been an option there as well, but that would be like a Sidwell bonus on this game. It
Yeah.
doesn't.
I think
Full hammer.
the snog bit, you could just look at it by going when they score. Like, who would you most like to kiss when they score? That's the way I'm trying to paper over some
Oh,
cracks
that's
here.
quite a good way to do it. Or like if you score, you see three players running at you.
Yeah.
Right, their lips pursed. Which one are you?
God, this has gone on far too long.
But you're saying Stevie G.
I'd kiss him. I think.
Yeah, nice.
Probably, yeah.
Nice.
All right, Mr. Jim Max. I've been thinking about other things we don't see in football anymore, and I can't remember the last time a drop ball was contested. Do they still happen? What are the rules around them? Have you ever been part of one? That's mad. There's not many. The odd time you see it, don't you?
I don't know when that rule gets applied because most of the time it's one just kicking the ball back to the other team. But I have seen a contested drop ball.
I don't think
not
it's
too
out
long
the
ago.
game, but it's. Do you remember when people used to just they used to
Do you remember the
put
Wayne Rooney one?
they smashed Rooney's one? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's unreal. Do you know what? There'll be some kids.
That was
listening.
against Hull. I'm sure against Hull.
Yeah,
that
there'll be
was.
some kids listening to this. youngsters who haven't seen a proper drop ball be dropped and then go through each other. Like, do you know what? If you haven't seen one, Google Wayne Rooney drop ball. Right?
Yeah.
It must be up there.
Yeah.
Have you ever driven to Wales and you go, you know where you cross the bridge and you go through the toll there, and then for about 5 seconds it's just fucking chaos as you go through. It's like, because there's no road markings. You all just go through the
races.
barrier.
Yeah, so everyone just
It's like
everyone
wacky races.
pings it, don't they?
That's
How fast do people go there?
well, I come out of that and look around and I'm like, great, like just go.
And the road's massive, isn't it? Why are the roads like that anyway? Why do they make them that big?
How have we got from a drop ball?
No, but it's just you get
Onto
about,
wacky
you get about
races
5
coming out of
seconds of
Wales.
chaos where the laws don't seem to exist anymore. It's
It's really true. Really true.
I love it. It's such a joyful 5-10 minutes that, because you go do wacky races through the toll there on the way to Wales, and 5 minutes later you're at Maggle Services.
Oh, yes, your favourite, isn't it?
Mackies and everything. It's great.
Superb.
It's just a lovely 10 minutes.
Yeah. All right. We'll look out for some drop balls. All right. Listen, we're gonna get this in a gallery somewhere, or we're gonna get that.
Should we get it framed?
Yeah.
Let's get someone watching, whether you maybe do psychology at uni or, I mean, you might not want to identify yourself after the lads took down. It's all students everywhere. me included,
We're big
yes.
fan of students. Lots of students listen to this. And if you do go to Southampton University, please send us a picture of this. It might be on the wall of Chris Stark and his quote.
Yeah.
And we'll get this.
We'll get this analysed and we'll maybe see what we can do with it. Get it in a gallery. I don't know. Project it onto the House of Commons. You never know where we'll go with this, Sid.
I don't doubt it with this pod.
This is going right to the top.
Look where puddings went to.
Wouldn't it be great if we could like sort of send that into space, like a kind of like send it up to the aliens?
Do you remember that guy that went to space? With the-
Felix Baumgartner?
his
That
name?
one, the one that jumped.
No, I'm talking about the guy when he went up with the. He was listening to the
Oh, the
podcast in
Alsatian.
space.
Yes, you're
remember?
right. We sent.
He had an Alsatian, and he was listening to the pod in space. So
No
the
way.
pod's been to space. Yeah,
I love
how bad's that?
Brilliant.
What a ledge! All right, cheers, guys.